the division, and Tampa Bay already ran away with the division. But still, the point is tonight in Fenway, one of the great rivalries in sports. So our list today, not only I'll give you my SEC top 10 because there's some definite movement in that thing. But my primary list today is going to be the greatest rivalries in sport, and I had to break it down. I have a hard time comparing a rivalry from college to a rivalry to professional sports. You know what I mean? So I had to do it by sport. Because I sit there and I say, okay, here's the Iron Bowl. This is the greatest rivalry in college football. It's the Iron Bowl. No, it's not the Michigan-Ohio State game. It's not the Texas-Oklahoma game. It's not the Florida-Georgia. It's the Iron Bowl. But how do I compare the Iron Bowl to Red Sox-Yankees or to whatever it is in the NBA or NHL? So I kind of made my list based on the leagues. And I'm going to want Chad to comment on it when I throw it out there, and I'll give you guys the opportunity to comment on it. So I'm going to try and get it in. I'm not going to wait all the way until the end of the show. I'm going to do it at the top of the 11. God willing. And the creek don't rise. Phone lines are open. I don't even know what that means, but, hopefully the creek don't rise. Phone lines are open. Going through adolescence. Phone lines are open. Feel free to jump in. 256-576-4977. You can also text the show at 7329-TA-SHOW. 732-982-7469. And don't tell me it's football season. We don't care about a baseball game. Listen, there's no football game tonight. Okay? You got nothing else to look at tonight. What are you going to look at? An exhibition game in the NBA or the NHL? There's one baseball game. There's no Braves game tonight. They don't play till Friday afternoon, which I, by the way, think it's going to be about 1 o'clock Friday. I'm just saying. I don't know if they've come up with it yet. But there is one thing to watch tonight. There is nothing else to look at tonight. This will have a big number. On ESPN, there's nothing else to watch tonight other than this baseball game. To be quite honest with you, are we carrying it? It's on ESPN radio. Well, what are we doing? We're going to play a replay of Paul Feinbaum? I don't even know. I didn't even talk to the boys yet. But it is on, all the playoffs are on ESPN radio. Anyway. My personal Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show, while the station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. We are also on the Twitch and the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there. You can watch it on the YouTube channel at 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Like and subscribe to that thing. Just go to 977ESPN.com. You get links to all of that and the app as well. You need the app. Your life is incomplete if you don't have the app. You really should have the app. You should have it take us with you everywhere in your pocket. You can take
it near, you can take it far, you can take it in your car, you can take it to a bar.
Take it everywhere. That stinking app. You need that thing. And if you have the app, it helps you on a Friday night as well. This Friday night, Madison Academy, after that 42-16 humbling previously unbeaten Randolph Academy, they will get 5-1, 4-0 in the region now. Next up for them is Madison Academy, who's 3-4, 2-2 in the region. Steve Moulton and Glenn Laird have that one on air and online on our primary stream Friday. Huntsville High is... Oh, it's Thursday? Madison Academy's Thursday? Oh, I didn't know Madison Academy was Thursday. Did I forget that? I probably knew that and then forgot it. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Chad. My phone is going off. Guys are talking in my ear. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, that's right. Madison Academy is Thursday against Madison County. Thursday. So we'll have that on air and on the primary stream. And then Huntsville High, who is 2-2 in the region, they will be at Austin on Friday. So that game will be on our air and on our primary stream. Austin Coletti and Drew DeArmond have that. My assumption is, and I don't think we have in Madison Academy, of course, will hit the air after Hey Coach. My assumption is right now that the Braves-Brewers Game 1 on Friday is going to be at noon or 1 o'clock. I don't think Major League Baseball has put the schedule out yet. Maybe they have, finally. But I think they're waiting to see what happens tonight and tomorrow night. It knows, wait a minute. Braves and Brewers are 4:37. 4:37 Eastern time. 3:37. 3:37. I know what I would do. I defer in a lot of the programming decisions to Steve, because Steve's the program director. My job is to advise. 3:37 first pitch. 3:37. Be close. I'd carry that game. That's just me. All right. Coming up in a few minutes, David Moulton of the SEC on CBS and the NFL on Fox will join us. He was in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. He'll be in College Station this week. I think that game's Saturday night. I don't know. Now I'm flummoxed. Pretty sure that game is at night. It is. So David will join us. That game Saturday night suddenly has a different look to it, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't it feel like A&M and LSU look like they're in a battle for the basement in the West right now? That's what it looks like. Then Sunday he's going to drive up to Dallas and he'll be in a booth for the Giants at the Cowboys. The Cowboys are legit. I got to see what David thinks about this whole Urban Meyer mess as well. I mean, that thing is just not going well. It's just not going well. Now he's out there partying with young co-ed, I don't know if she's co-ed, young chicks, twerking in his lap and video of it out there, his wife responding to. I mean, it's just, I don't know about this guy. I don't know. Later on in the 11, Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South is in the house as well. The Southeastern Conference announced that the University of Kentucky will be fined for a violation of the league's access to competition area because they stormed the field following the game against Florida. They get clipped for 250 GER because this is their third offense. Have they had that many wins? This is their third offense under the league's access to competition area. They were fined last following their game against Mississippi State in 2018. You stormed the field after beating Mississippi State? I know they were pretty good in 2018, but, I mean, you're just going to storm the field for beating Mississippi State? Let's let Calipari pay it. It's chump change for him. Really, this is kind of chicken bleep. You know what I mean? You should get like one per year. You should get one freebie per year where you could storm the field. Of course, none of this applies to Alabama, where the fans have never stormed the field. Remember, Bear Bryant said you should always expect to win. Why are you storming the field? When are you ever, what, you don't expect to win a game? Why would you storm the field? If anything, at Alabama, you should storm the field when you lose, like like that 2010 Iron Bowl, the comeback. You should have stormed the field after that game. Should have stormed the field before the end of that game. You just don't storm the field at Alabama. And I honestly don't know how the current student population knows that there. I'm totally honest with you. My son, I asked him, I called him yesterday, I said, my oldest son, I said, when you were at freshman orientation, did they mention that you don't storm the field? And he said, yes. It was talked about. I said, was it talked about because you should expect to win? Because I know Eli Gold addressed the students and stuff, because my son actually got to talk to him then, and he got great street cred when he was able to go up to Eli, tell him he was Thom Abraham's son, and Eli, was like old home week with him, like he was his own son. He was great to him. But they actually talked about it. He says that. They tell us we don't do that. But he said they talked about the financial ramifications of it, and that it was a rule that you don't storm the field. I said, did they say specifically, act like you're supposed to win? He don't remember that part. All he remembers is them saying, don't do it. They don't do it. I think that, I'll be honest with you, I think that Alabama not rushing the field is one of the great traditions in college football. You think about all the traditions in college football, Howard's Rock and, this, whatever they are. The Boomer Sooner thing running around on the field and Trojan Horse and, whatever the heck they are. Play like a champion today. Think all the college football traditions. I think that Alabama not charging the field, not going on their field, I think that is one of the great traditions. Maybe the best tradition is that eagle flying around, before the Auburn games. That is amazing. If you've ever been in the stadium when that thing flies near you, I've never been to an Auburn game in the stadium, only in the press box, but back in the day, the press box used to be open. Now it's closed, so you feel closed off. But it was open like Alabama's is. And that sucker would come near the press box, and you'd see just the wingspan on that thing is huge. The Chargers with a convincing win on the road in L.A. That's right. That was a Raiders home game in L.A. Chargers win left the AFC with 7 of its 16 teams at 3-1. Nearly half the teams are 3-1. That's a 12-4 record before this stupid 17th game thing. Can you imagine half the teams in the league going 12-4? 6 of the teams are 1-3, which is, by proxy, 4-12. What a crazy start to the season. And so now, as repeated several times by Steve Levy last night, the narrative is that the Chargers are the team to beat in the AFC West. I mean, can we pump the brakes on that for a moment? Can we let's see what it looks like after this week. Let's see what it looks like after LAA, who should be in SD, plays the Browns at SoFi in front of a Browns backers crowd. Because believe me, the Browns will be at least 50-50 fans there. Because they travel too. And there's a lot of Browns fans in Southern California. They will be loud. And then Sunday night, the Chiefs host the sizzling hot Bills. If the Chiefs beat the Bills and the Browns beat the Chargers, then what happens? Now who's the team to beat in the AFC? Just slow down. Just pump the brakes on who's the team to beat because they got a 1-game lead on the Chiefs, for God's sake. Just slow down. I know you beat the Chiefs. Stop. Speaking of Browns-Chargers, is there a quarterback in the league that more people jump on and off quicker than Baker Mayfield? I mean, dude was a stud for the first 3 weeks, and everybody was talking him up. Then he has a stinker in Minnie. They still win the game, and he's the problem. And that OBJ thing, that Odell Beckham Jr. thing seems to be a thing there. I mean, it's a mystery. Baker Mayfield completed 81.6% of his passes in the first 2 games with Beckham out. And now he's completed only 53.1% in the 2 games that he's had Beckham in the game. I don't know what it is. To be fair, Baker is dealing with a left shoulder injury. But he missed Beckham, who was wide open for a 70-yard touchdown, and he seemed off against the Vikings. He went like 15-33 for 155, so who knows? It's just, is Beckham's personality just that overwhelming? I don't know. And how Cali was it to have a weather delay in L.A. at a stadium with a dome? Yeah, I know they got some windows that are open on the side, but my goodness. I think Charger officials were actually out in the street trying to find some actual Charger fans. They're like, wait a minute, don't start this game yet. Let's go see if we can find some Charger fans. The L.A. Charger thing is making no sense. The Spanos family needs to be begging San Diego to build a stadium. Just build a stadium, we'll come back. Please build a stadium. I mean, the team had to use a silent count. This is a true story. They had to use a silent count at home. That dude over there, he's not using a silent count. Playing the platters that matter in the stacks of wax and answering the phones. And stoked for Friday. Let's go, Triz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. That Tom? Hey, Tom?
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
They had to use a silent count at home, Grizz.
Yeah, and this is why that there never should have been a team in L.A. This is how L.A. fans kind of react. Watch people start becoming Charger fans now.
No, they won't.
No. They'll start wearing the jerseys. They'll start showing up once they start playing real well. And Justin Herbert's he's the face of the franchise. He's doing really well. You can't say he's not. But it just shows you how well Oakland fans or Las Vegas fans travel, and it never probably should have left Oakland in the first place because, I mean, they are one of the best fan bases when it comes to traveling. Alabama might be really good in college. Oakland's really good, or Las Vegas is really good in the NFL.
Remember, they were the LA Raiders for 10 years. You know what I mean? I mean, they got, believe me, they're the second most popular team. In fact, if they were to play the Rams in that building, there'd be 50-50 crowd.
Yeah.
I bet it'd be a 50-50 crowd. And if you look at a map, look how close Las Vegas is to LA. It's really nothing. It's what is it? Is it 3.5, 4 hours? I don't know. I'm guessing. Is it 3.5, 4 hours from Vegas to LA? 5 hours maybe at the most? I don't even know if it's that long. I'm not sure. Are the Chargers to beat the
4 hours and 19 minutes?
All right, so 4 hours and 19 minutes by the law, which means 3.5 hours. You know, driving the way you would drive out of the desert, right? 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
that's not bad. Do you think the Chargers are the team to beat right now in the West?
I think so. I think they have a really, really good defense. They can score at will. They didn't even throw to Mike Williams, and that's their – to be honest with you, it's crazy to say that because they have Keenan Allen on the other side. But thank
God they didn't throw to Mike Williams. That gave me my fantasy win.
Well, I mean, I needed Justin Herbert, and of course he just blew that out of the water. But yeah, no, I really do. I think the Chiefs don't have a lot on defense to save them a lot of games, and Patrick Mahomes can only pull off so much magic like he continues to do, and if you get a stop and you keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, which I feel like they can do with Austin Eckler, that's the issue with the Chargers. I feel like they have a great team. But I think that Austin Eckler, you saw last night, he was gimpy. He was gimpy, and then
but he's a stud. He's over 100 yards.
But if he's out, it's a whole different.
When's
team.
he out though?
No, I'm saying when he does go out, because he's injury prone. Yeah, I mean he's injury prone.
Here's the thing about this week: they have a terrible run defense. Now the Raiders weren't able to run the ball, but the Browns are coming in with the best running team. They're the best rushing offense in the NFL. Don't talk to me about the Ravens. The Ravens do it with a quarterback that just scrambles around. The Browns, in terms of lining up, knocking you off the ball, and running it with their two running backs, are the best in the league. So let's see what the Browns could do rushing against it. It's going to be an interesting game. All right, let's get a break so we can be on time for David Moulton. We're often not on time for David Moulton, and he says that I'm always late, so I want to be on time for David Moulton. We'll do that next right here. Plenty to get to. We will get into the Jace McClellan injury. We will get into Lane Kiffin's mea culpa. We'll get into these lists that I got because it's a Top 10 Tuesday. It's all coming up. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Drinking coffee straight from the pot. Power move. Wearing a bathrobe to work. Power move. Switching to super fast, extra reliable internet from WOW. Power move. Switch and save with WOW Internet for just $19.99 a month. It's switching season, so make a move with our best deal of the year. For a limited time, get Internet 100 with no contracts for just $19.99 a month. Plus, get a 2-year price lock and the first month free. Make the switch at WowA.com today.
Wow.
Limited to new customers with autopay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Never mind fall and football being in the air. We want to taste it.
And never mind not being able to tailgate at the game. Let's create the ultimate barbecue experience in your own backyard.
You said it, Foster Brooks. And that's where Brooks & Collier comes in. Big selection of outdoor furniture.
And a big selection of grills and smokers like Traeger, Big Green Egg, Blaze, even DCS, and more.
This is the good stuff.
And Paul, we definitely got the accessories. And remember, we deliver. Visit us at 813 Meridian Street and shop online at brooksandcollier.com.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. David Moulton is brought to us by North Alabama Mortgage. Serving all of Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida is North Alabama Mortgage. They do conventional VA, FHA, USDA loans, and they can help you with that purchase or that refinance. They can help you cash out. Get some of that cash out of your house if you're thinking about doing a home renovation, which I am. If you've got college expenses, which I don't. My baby boy is a senior, and he's on all scholarships and his own money to put himself through school. So he'll graduate in May on his own, so I don't have that. But I got weddings next year. I got weddings. So maybe I cash out to pay for weddings. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. I don't think I should have to contribute too much to my daughter's wedding because she's marrying a guy that's loaded. So I think that's a rule. I think if the guy is loaded, the guy makes more than you, and I do okay. And if the dude makes more than you, I don't think you should have to pay for the wedding. That's just my personal rule. Anyway, North Alabama Mortgage. Go to northalabamamortgage.com for more. David Moulton joining us now, and he is, of course, with the SEC at CBS and the NFL on Fox. David, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
Do you think that – did I ask you this last week? I did ask you this, didn't I? Like, if your daughter is marrying a dude that is loaded, should you have to contribute to the wedding very much? Like, maybe just buy her dress or something.
Yes.
No?
Now, I do think you get to negotiate. I do think you get to sit down with the soon-to-be son-in-law and go, I understand convention is I got to pay for all this, but, is this really how you want to welcome your way into the family? Because, just so you know, I can be a real pain in the ass.
He knows that part. Dude's he's 28 years old. He is very, very successful in his job. Very down-to-earth guy. His family his father's a steel worker from the Chicago area, but is a very down-to-earth guy. Right. His father is like one of the super fans. You know what I mean? He's a big Bears fan. He's cut right out of the super fan bit.
So what you're saying is he's going to make a great first husband.
Oh, let me tell you something. I told my other son-in-laws that the minute that Blaine marries Grace, that he becomes my favorite son-in-law. I mean, he fishes, he hunts, and he's loaded. Rich. And he's loaded. He's loaded. I mean, they got beautiful.
In fact, I think you should turn to some of your sons and say, "Gotta admit, if you guys don't behave yourself, he could rise above a few of you." Yeah, he could get in line with the borns, with the natural born ones. Yeah, he's a good kid. But I got him, and they're getting married on a mountaintop, and they're doing all this crazy stuff. It's going to be a very
But I don't think he expects anything, to be honest with you. But we want to do something. But I just, and I am not paying for what their wedding is going to be.
You could reverse roles. You could just say, "Listen, we'll reverse roles. I'll handle the rehearsal dinner and the bar tab."
Right. Well, that's what I said.
Else.
Exactly. I remember maybe her dress or because his father wants to pay for an open bar at the wedding, which I told him, I said, you better be careful with that. The open bar at the wedding thing, you think that's $1,500. It could be $5,000. You know what I mean? You don't know how that's going to go, so you got to be careful with all of that stuff. But in any event, there's that one. Then my son's getting married, and that one there, he's marrying a girl who, like your daughter, is an only daughter, and I'm sure you did the same thing. Her parents, when she was a little kid, started a wedding fund for her, and they've been putting money in it all the way up until this point. And so they have a wedding fund for her, and so I'm totally off the hook there. I'm doing the rehearsal dinner, and I'm going to take them to probably Baumhauer Sports Bar. Maybe not. I'll trade it. Tom, I'll trade the damn rehearsal dinner.
Well, yes. I mean, and once again, you'll be in front of the rehearsal dinner. You're saying, before we give a toast to the soon-to-be bride and groom, this rehearsal dinner brought to you by. Right. Absolutely.
To an endorsement.
And your whole audience knows that's the truth.
Oh, no, they know. They know, that is for sure. All right.
By the way, you did lose me at wedding fund. Okay? Tom, I've been in the radio and TV business my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I've barely had a living fund. You think I've been saving for a wedding fund? No, I don't think so.
Come on now. I know they're paying you the big bucks to go flying all over the country here with CBS and with Fox, taking care of those boys and doing the research for the booth. What was the booth's reaction when Lane Kiffin did the now infamous mic drop, which he has apologized for? He called Jamie Ertl. He apologized to her specifically. He said he knew it was stupid. And, in fact, before the kickoff, he said to Jeff Levy, his offensive coordinator, he told him, he said, you better score a lot of points because I just said something really stupid.
Well, we all kind of looked at one another when he did it, kind of like, did that just really happen? I started thinking to myself, did he think Jamie asked an inappropriate question, or was he annoyed that Jamie brought up Coach Saban by name? What was going on here? Because, that's something that we thought Lane would have done years ago. And it was kind of like, where did that come from? You've behaved all week, and now at 2:38, you do this. But, and afterwards we forgot it and, went to the game. Now we know Twitter and the rest of the world doesn't. But, we have to go do the game, and the game essentially was, Alabama was going to play smash mouth football, and once they decided to do that, Ole Miss does not have an answer for that at all. They just don't have an answer, and so Lane's got to go for all the fourth downs because he knows the only chance he has to win is to keep the ball and to score 3 out of 4 times.
Now,
I was okay with every fourth down for the record, including the 4th and 1 on the own 31, late second quarter for this reason. He wasn't getting the second half kickoff. And I thought exactly the way Lane was. If I punt this ball, they're going to score, go into the locker room, come out of the locker room, probably score again. Okay, so the next time I get the ball back, I'm going to be down 28-0. I need to score on this possession. I was thinking exactly like Lane. Gary was thinking differently. You got to punt. You got to try desperately. One stop, you can get to the locker room. It's only 14-0. I was thinking like Lane.
Yeah, I'm with Gary on this one because I think, and again, my history is as a defensive coach, but I think you got to kick that ball away and make Alabama drive the length of the field or a long part of the field because things can happen. A tipped ball, you intercepted, a fumble, one holding penalty backs them up, all of those types of things. I don't think it's all or nothing at 14-0 on your own 31. I thought he panicked. I thought he choked a little bit there. And I like Lane, but I thought he choked.
And the other thing is that to me, think about it. The old adage of if you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win the game. Well, the first fourth down was 4th and less than a yard at the 6. The pivotal fourth down was 4th and a yard at the 31. I mean, at the end of the day, the difference this time was Ole Miss couldn't run the ball. They ran the ball for 300 yards last year. They ran it for 80 Saturday. That was the big difference. Alabama attacked the line of scrimmage defensively. They kind of sat back and took it last year. That was the big difference.
Jamie impresses me as being pretty cool. I've worked with some sideline reporters that were incredible divas. I remember one game in the post-production meeting on the Empire Sports Network where our sideline reporter spent the first 15 minutes of the post-production meeting talking about the camera being on the wrong side of her and not showing her good side when she was doing a sideline stand-up deal, and she was just a pain. Did Jamie handle that cool, though? Because she seemed pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Jamie didn't think anything of it. Plus, it's good television.
It was good TV.
I mean, and she thought she threw one in underhanded. He decided to swing and hit it the way he did. I mean, that's what all those questions are.
Yeah.
I mean, you really look at them, just throw it in underhanded and see what they do with it.
Yeah. And it's amazing all of the good that he has done in the last year and a half or so, and all the talk about him maturing and all the different things like that. It all, people are so quick to jump on him. It all can blow up in his face with one moment like that. Oh, he's the same old Lane Kiffin, a Brad immature, all that kind of stuff. But all he has to do is turn around and beat Arkansas, right? I mean, he beats Arkansas, all is fine. They keep going. Nobody expected them to actually win that game anyway against Alabama. But if they start a little bit of a slide, then he's a clown show again. But if they could turn around and beat Arkansas in a really salty early game on CBS, then I think everything is okay.
Well, I mean, they could be favored in every game they play the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them will be really close, but they still potentially could easily have a 10. I don't know if easily, but they could have a 9-3, 10-2 season. And would it really surprise you? I mean, outside of Alabama, who in the West do you think? I mean, I think Auburn's now interesting. Auburn has shown they've got a toughness about them. They took Penn State to the buzzer. And obviously, hey, a lot better Auburn teams than that one have gone to Baton Rouge and lost.
Yeah.
So hats off to the Tigers for winning for the first time in 20 years there. So Auburn's interesting, and we all know you can see the Iron Bowl now. It's on the Plains. They've won 3 out of the last 4 times there. So Auburn's intriguing. But when you look at Ole Miss against everybody else, if they won those games, would that really surprise you?
And you could say the same thing about Arkansas. That's why that game is so fascinating. That one's on ESPN. I think I misspoke there. It's, of course, the Georgia-Auburn game will be on. It's the state of Alabama takes center stage on CBS on Saturday with the Georgia-Auburn game in the first game, and then the late game being the Alabama-Texas A&M game. But, yeah, you could say the same thing about Arkansas. This game, I think, determines that. It also goes towards determining an issue that I will reveal later on in the show because it is Top 10 Tuesday, and I will have my SEC Top 10. But I threw this out there Monday, actually, in my commentary that played all day. Who's the third best team in the SEC? And I fell on, after Arkansas and Ole Miss get wrecked, A&M gets beat by, State, LSU, Florida loses up there to Kentucky. I fell on having to debate Kentucky versus Auburn. I literally could. Auburn could be the third best team in the SEC, but Kentucky at 5-0 now. We can't just ignore Kentucky when you beat Florida, and so now Kentucky is 5-0, and their schedule outside of Georgia is really manageable. I mean, Dave, really manageable. So I ask you, David Moulton, who's the third best team in the SEC right now?
Well, there's a difference between best and where they are in the standings. I mean, I think all things are even. If I have to take the top 2 and take them out of the equation, and we played a round robin with the other 12, I think I'd take Florida. All right, but they've already lost 2 SEC games.
One of them to Kentucky. I mean, when you lose to the team,
I understand, but I also think horrendous day for them. 15 penalties, 8 false starts. The Kentucky's big touchdown of the game's a blocked field goal taken back to the house. I mean, Kentucky didn't even play well, and they won that game. But I will say the football gods owed them, 35 years. some of the losses just absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, Kentucky was owed one. But, you mentioned you think the Ole Miss-Arkansas game is fascinating. Isn't it LSU-Kentucky this week?
LSU-Kentucky. And LSU, I think this is if LSU can't beat Kentucky, I think this is the beginning of the end of Ed. And I hate it because I love the guy. But I think this would be the beginning of the end. Yeah.
I agree with that. The other thing, though, is if you're Kentucky and you want to max this season out, you got to win this game. You're not winning in Athens the next week. You're not. But win the winnable games. And LSU can't run the ball. This is a winnable game. They're a one-dimension team. They still don't have the elite talent where they were 2-3 years ago. That you can win this game. You can't win in Athens. That unfortunately, it's a bad matchup. Ole Miss, not a good matchup, against Alabama. Alabama could line up in two tight ends and run it all day, and there's nothing you can't do about it. Kentucky, they're not going to do anything against Georgia. We're going to have the game. Georgia's going to beat them down.
Yeah.
It's a bad matchup.
Got to give Kentucky some love. I understand why you would have that. And plus you're dealing with Georgia, which is either 1 or 2 in the country. But after that, Kentucky's at Mississippi State, can win that game. Gets Tennessee at home, can win that game, even though Tennessee showed some life against Missouri. At Vandy, that's a laugher. New Mexico State at home, and then at Louisville, which is not very good. Kentucky literally can go 11-1. I mean, they could go 11-1.
But this is the key game, and if they win this one, you tend to think they're going to find a way to have a 10-win regular season. And
if they lose this one, though, then you think all of a sudden they could lose at State, they could lose against Tennessee.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Arkansas. Arkansas's had a very rough stretch here. You kind of sensed they were walking into Athens beat up. They played 3 big games already in the year. 2 very physical ones against Texas and A&M. And meanwhile, Georgia had a scrimmage the week before against Vandy. You just sense that, they were the fighter. Tom, we follow boxing. Sometimes the fighter is fighting his way up, and he wins 3 or 4 big fights, physical fights. And then he goes in there against a rested champion, and the champion just tears him up. And it's not that the champion's that much better than that fighter, but it was just the wrong spot at the wrong time. Now, can they regroup quickly, or have they peaked this year, and now they're going to struggle just to go 7-5?
Right, because then after this Ole Miss game, all of a sudden Auburn comes a knocking, and they're an enigma. You never know what you're going to get right now with Auburn.
Alabama, right.
LSU, Alabama, LSU at night probably, and then State. Who knows what the heck the Pirate is doing there at State after that win against Texas A&M. And, boy, does that game take on a different feel now, the Alabama-Texas A&M game, where basically A&M and LSU are now battling it out for the basement of the SEC West? That's what we're looking at.
Yeah. Things can change quickly. And we've talked about this before. Whenever the day comes that Nick retires, what is going to become of the SEC? Is the SEC going to start to look like the NFL, where everybody hangs losses on each other? I mean, look at the NFC West. I mean, it's tough to get through that without everybody beating each other up. Right now, Arizona's a little bit ahead of everybody, but they got 5 more division games.
Yeah.
Everybody think they're going to steamroll through those? I mean, you know how it is. You take Nick, and right now Kirby, but you take Nick and Alabama and this dynasty, whenever it ends, out of the equation, the rest of the SEC could turn and look like the NFL real quickly.
Or Georgia could look like Alabama and go on a dominating run. But we'll see. I mean, the Big Ten is showing some depth.
Figure out though what Nick figured out 5 years ago. Alabama always had really good, solid offenses with like one marquee player. Mm-hmm. You had an Amari Cooper, a Julio Jones, good stable of running backs, but they were never elite offensively. They were just really good, really solid. In the last 5 years, Alabama got elite offensively, elite quarterback prospects, elite wide receivers. Georgia, if they want to be Alabama, needs to start getting elite quarterbacks and wide receivers instead of just good, solid players.
How about Nick Saban saying after the game, in response to the question about running the ball 50 times and throwing it 27 times, Nick Saban said, that's not how we want to play, but that's what they were given. I mean, there was a day when you'd come out and pound the ball, and Saban would be like,
I like this kind of football.
Yeah, but not. And now he's sitting here, they run the ball 50 times, and he says, that's not how we want to play. But that's what they were giving us, and I don't understand why it took. Why Ole Miss stayed in that 3-2-6 defense.
Well, it's all they have, though. But it's all they have. I mean, I don't even think they have the bodies to play a different defense. I mean, I really don't. Their defense is built to play the spread, which most of the teams play.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom. You look at college football on a random Saturday and ask yourself, how many teams could have played the game Alabama played Saturday? Seriously, how many teams are built to line it up and run it down your throat? Iowa can do it.
Michigan.
Georgia can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you can count them all probably on one hand. Notre Dame used to be able to. This year they can't.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, and we could get into the way they play high school football now and 7-on-7s, and they don't block the way they used to. But seriously, there's very little smash mouth football anymore. And Nick said, listen, if you're going to line up in that 3-2-6, well, then, we're going to just slow death you today. We're just going to run it down your throat, take our time, and we'll see you down the road.
Yeah, I think Michigan can do that right now too. I mean,
maybe.
I think they're one of the teams that are playing that old school football, which is kind of cool. As well, David Moulton with us here. All right, back to Florida for a moment. Anthony Richardson, I guess he's getting better and better every week. In terms of being healthy, he only threw to one pass for 8 yards. He ran the ball 5 times for 26 yards. If you're Florida and you've already been tagged twice in the league, what are you jerking around with Emory Jones for? He's not your future. You're not going to win. He's great to get you 8 or 9 wins. Don't you have to start really looking at Anthony Richardson? When does Anthony Richardson take over? Because if you have a future, you got to know whether or not that kid is going to be a 3-year quarterback for you, don't you?
Well, I think if Anthony Richardson was the present, we would have saw it Saturday. I thought Dan not playing him that much and not letting him throw. I mean, there was one series where Richardson had 1st and 2nd down, and they took him out on 3rd and 14. I mean, that's a glaring substitution for a head coach. I mean, that screams we got issues here far more than what you guys think. I can't leave him in to run a 3rd and 14 play. So I don't think he's the present yet, whether it's the playbook, whatever. If that to me said, yeah, he ain't our guy today. Now, he may be in a month. He may be next year. But that substitution said to me, yeah, I'm telling you, I know he looks good, but he ain't the present. You got to trust me.
Yeah,
I will say Dan had a bad day. He's a great play caller. He's a great game day coach. He had a really bad day. Besides all the penalties and the fact that they couldn't figure out how to do a silent count, which ultimately at the end of the day you have to blame coaching. He had 4th and short on the Kentucky 41 and 42 and punted both times.
So you obviously use your substantial influence with CBS to schedule your crew into Dallas, so you could just drive from College Station to Dallas on Sunday, where the Cowboys will host the Giants in the National Game of the Week. Even though my Browns playing the Chargers is a better game over on NBC, but it'll get I don't know how much play that game will get. But Giants and Cowboys are the real deal, right? I mean, the Cowboys. This is the real deal. Who wins by more, Alabama over Texas A&M or the Cowboys over the Giants?
Alabama over A&M, because I don't know how A&M's going to score more than 14 points. I really don't. The reason Dallas is for real, let's face it, they only have to be middle of the road defensively, and they're probably a 12-win team. And right now, they are middle of the road defensively, and credit the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They're getting 2 turnovers a game. I mean, last year, Dallas went most of the season, I think until very late in the year, Dallas had forced 6 turnovers in the first 14 games last year. It was something ridiculously bad. They're playing fast. They're forcing turnovers. They could easily be undefeated. And in that division, they could be 2-3 weeks away from running away with it.
Marv Levy trying to convince us last night that the Chargers are, in fact, the team to beat in the AFC West. They play all road games, which is, asinine. They need to figure out a way to get back to San Diego, go build them a stadium and get the hell out of L.A. But in any event, all of that is on the line, though, this upcoming Sunday, right? I mean, you got the Bills at the Chiefs. If the Chiefs knock off the sizzling hot Bills at home, and now all of a sudden they're 3-2. And if somehow the Browns, with that very good running game, goes in there against a soft Charger defense interior and is able to upend the Chargers, and Chargers come out 3-2, all of that narrative goes away, right? I mean, I'm not sure I'm jumping on board with the Chargers are the team to beat yet in the AFC West.
No, they don't have the pedigree, I think, to jump on that. Plus, that's a division in which you could see everybody beating each other up. I think it's easier for Cleveland right now because nobody believes Cincinnati's for real, and Pittsburgh's clearly in decline. And so that looks like a two-team division, and the AFC East could be a one-team division. So I think, this is an interesting weekend. If Cleveland and Buffalo both win, is that the AFC Championship game?
Probably at that point in time that you would have to say that if Cleveland could go over there, win back-to-back road games, and go over there and get a win. And I know a lot of bashing of Baker Mayfield this week, but the fact of the matter is he had an off game. Tom Brady had an off game. He had an off game, yet they win a football game. And when you can go into Minnesota, and that's a fairly talented team and a very good offense, when you can go in there and hold those guys to 7 and win when your quarterback is struggling, that doesn't suck. I mean, that kind of says something, I think, about the team.
Well, I think it says a lot, and they won a game with defense, and right now the defense is playing very fast. They look terrific. The game within the game quickly, Buffalo, KC. KC beat them twice last year at each location, and they beat them 2 different ways. They ran the ball down their throat to win the first one, and then they threw it all over the lot to win the second. This is a big game for Buffalo. Every offseason move they made was based on the Chiefs. They can't cover tight ends, and they can't get pressure on the quarterback. Every change they made was for this game, week 5. So that's the game within the game. How does Buffalo look against Kansas City? Because if they don't look good, win or lose defensively, tough to view them as the team to beat in the AFC.
Always a pleasure, and brought to us by North Alabama Mortgage. David Moulton has been our guest. David, I appreciate you so much. Tell the people about your new venture with Mark Miller and when they can consume that and how.
How about if I do it next week?
Okay.
All right. In fact, next week could be when we debut.
Okay. All right. I thought it was public, but we'll hold it. We'll tease that for next week. A professional tease. We'll let you know next week.
Right. An Entertainment Tonight tease. Right.
Yes. There you go. All right, man. Have a great week with all this travel you got. You're going to Seattle too, aren't you? On Thursday.
Seattle, and then to Dallas, and drive to College Station and drive back. So it was nice of Saturday and Sunday to coordinate, though.
That was a good job by you.
I've gone from Gainesville to L.A. on a Saturday to Sunday, so this is kind of nice.
Yeah, that would be good. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Let's get a break. We will come back and set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience. Jacob Title uses the latest and best technologies to ensure a safe and secure exchange of funds, and they pride themselves on great communication well before and during the real estate closing process. Jacob Title in Huntsville and Madison, and online at jacobtitle.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
Football season is here.
45, nobody's gonna catch him. No shot, touchdown, 68 yards, no shot, Marino.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we are wide open. We are going to do our Tuesday Top 10s, greatest rivalries in sport, and I want you to contribute to that as well. I'm going to give you what I think are the greatest rivalries per sport, and I'm doing this based on the fact that the Yankees and the Red Sox are playing this week. Also, the latest on the Jace McClellan situation. We'll give you our thoughts on that. What's going on with Vic Fangio and John Harbaugh? That's kind of interesting, too. All coming up. Wide open, and then Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South is in the house. Hour number 2 is next. Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. If you know me, you know I've been around a whole lot of championship teams. Well, there's one championship team in North Alabama I want to make sure you know about. The trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems. Rick Smith and his team provide the best in air conditioning solutions, so even on the hottest days, you'll be cool. Give Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and see how cool you can be. Environmental Comfort Systems. Alabama license number 92314.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Our zone deal this week is truly an award winner. Metro Diner, serving up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest priced mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. Right now, you can get $50 worth of great Metro Diner food for half price, just $25 with our zone deal. Just log on 977ESPN.com to get yours.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Red Sox slugger J.D. Martinez has been left off the playoff roster for tonight's American League wildcard game versus the Yankees. He continues to recover from a sprained left ankle. Nathan Eovaldi on the hill against Garrett Cole, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, 8 Eastern, ESPN TV. NFL, Bears running back David Montgomery expected to miss 4 to 5 weeks because of a knee sprain, according to ESPN's Dan Graziano. 49ers say quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, calf contusion, does have a chance to play Sunday against the unbeaten Cardinals. NBA, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting the Suns and former #1 overall pick DeAndre Ayton at an impasse in talks on a contract extension. Ayton has no intention of accepting a deal less than the comparable max contracts for a 5-year, $172.5 million extension with escalators that could reach $207 million.
When we say local, we mean local, not Birmingham.
Loser.
We are the only sports talk station in Huntsville. It's all right here. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got a magical glow.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now Now live. Here he is, the big dog. Let's go, baby! Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. So glad that you are with us today. And, of course, tomorrow we are going to – I'm only here today and tomorrow, and then I'm out of the box Thursday and Friday. The boys will take you through there. We will have a Friday trifecta. Tomorrow, though, we will do Beat the Big Dog. All right, so we're not going to miss a week of Beat the Big Dog. We'll have that tomorrow. I am participating in and covering a Bassmaster Open event at Smith Mountain Lake, and I'm embarrassed to say I've lived in this region of the country now for going on 18 years. Is that right? It was 2004. Yeah, going on 18 years. I've never fished Smith Mountain Lake. I've never fished it, and I've got no idea about it. To be quite honest with you, I got no idea what I'm doing down there. Have you been on it?
No. You just Smith Lake?
Smith Lake, yeah.
Yeah, I've been out there a few times. I actually got to fish. Well, probably it was 2 or 3 years before my grandfather passed away, and my family and I went out there.
Did you catch anything?
Yeah, a couple. Yeah,
spots. They got a lot of spotted bass. They got great spotted bass there. I just don't know what
grandfather
I'm going to do.
caught some. He went out with my dad a couple of times before I got down there, and they caught a couple too down there. It's really nice. Like, I mean, I think we went during like Memorial Weekend or something like that. Man, it was beautiful. Everybody was out. I mean, it's there's a lot of pretty houses in that area too. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Like, it's down a little bit, so the docks will be out of play. And by the way, that story I had yesterday about the kid from Briarwood Christian, Grizz, that fishes for Auburn, that is a freshman at Auburn, 3-time high school national champion, and that kid, he had like a 6-pound lead in the middle of the day. It was maybe 7 pounds. I think he had a 7-pound lead in the middle of the day. Tucker Smith is his name. And an amazing comeback by the kid he was fishing against from Bethel University up in Tennessee. Tristan McCormick is that kid's name. He was a senior. So that kid as a senior, it meant a lot to him because if he could get out, by winning that thing, he would have an opportunity to fish professionally and, all those things that I talked about, what were available to him. Whereas the Tucker Smith kid is just a freshman, so he's still got all his college career to go. But anyway, the Tristan McCormick kid made an incredible comeback, and he beat him by 3 ounces.
Oh, wow.
3 ounces! I mean, the drama was amazing. It all played out on Fox Sports app and on Bassmaster.com yesterday. It was incredible. He'll be on Bassmaster Radio this weekend. And, man, what a crazy story that was. All right, lots to get into here. I got my list I want to get into. The Jace McClellan injury, it's time to see what Trey Sanders can do. You know what I mean? With 10 or 12 carries a game, I think we got to take a look at Trey Sanders a little bit more here. Alabama, for the first time in, 10 years, they do not have that big horse back in the backfield. I mean, Brian Robinson is nice. Don't get me wrong. Jason McClellan, I thought, was better. He was quicker to the hole. He was more of a I thought he was more like Yeldon, maybe a little bit more. I feel like Brian Robinson a little bit heavy-footed. Not that they can't win with that kid. Obviously they can. But I really want to see what Trey – I personally would really like to see more of Trey Sanders now and see what does he bring to the table. Because you can't have – I don't think Brian Robinson can carry the ball, 35 times a game. You're going to have to mix it up, or 30 times a game, or even 25 times a game. And I have this feeling, and it's the same feeling I have about Emory Jones. And I don't mean any disrespect. Those are great universities, and it's tough to get on the field. I don't care who's in front of you. If you can't get any carries in 4 years, there's a reason, right? I mean, at the end of the day, isn't there a reason why Brian Robinson was always the third or the fourth guy the last several years? And he had studs in front of him. I get that. But was he one of those studs? And I get that he's not. I didn't feel like he was. Compared to what Alabama's had in the past, I don't feel like he has got that. If you want to get into the baseball, look, I know I'm a unicorn around here. I get that. But the baseball playoffs are about to start. And it's tonight is epic. Tonight is something, it's absolutely epic in as much as that we are going to have it. Is that what you just said? You just got a thumbs up? We got the game tonight?
Yep.
Good job by Steve. We got the game tonight. It is epic in as much as that they tie. We'll have tomorrow night's Cardinals Dodgers game as well, which is great. And think about these 4 teams, Grizz. Are there 4 teams, outside of the beloved Chicago Cubs, are there 4 teams that have a bigger name in baseball than the Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, and Dodgers?
The Braves, because of the South.
No.
They have the whole South. They have literally like 5 or 6 states. All that they just take care of.
That the Cardinals have a bigger national following than the Braves. The Braves have a big name, but I'm talking about the Cardinals are the second most World Series championships.
No, I
right?
get it. Yeah.
They've got 11.
Yeah.
The Red Sox are the Red Sox. Red Sox have won 4 since the turn of the century. They won, I think, 3 or 4 last century. Red Sox are always good at the beginning of a century.
Do you count the Boston Red Sox World Series? Do you not count the Braves that they won under Boston, or no? Like, do you count the 95 and then all the other championships?
No, I just count the Atlanta Braves. I mean, when I talk about the Braves, I talk about the Atlanta Braves.
Because when people talk about it, I mean, it is the franchise. So
I know, but to me, the Braves are the Atlanta Braves. I'm talking about the Atlanta. I'm not talking about when they were the Milwaukee Braves. I think it's
or the Boston Braves.
That they're playing a series against Milwaukee. I think that's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah,
but the Braves now. I think the Braves are like the Cubs. You know what I mean? I think the Braves and the Cubs are. But what happens when the Cubs play in Atlanta? What do you see?
More Cubs fans.
It's like the Raiders playing against the Chargers last night, right?
I mean, it's like you said, and it's no different with the Red Sox too. I mean, it is a Red Sox game every time they come down to Atlanta.
Okay, then there you go. And the Yankees too. I mean, that's just the way it is. So, having said that,
anybody that comes down to Atlanta, it just seems like an away game.
We're going to ignore the fact that the Tampa Bay Rays, who weren't even around in '78, we're going to ignore the fact that they ran away with the division.
Yeah,
they ran away with it. The fact that the Yankees and the Red Sox tied for the season, the series for the season was 10-9 Red Sox. The scoring for the season was 75-74 Red Sox. Okay, they're playing one game to move on into playoffs. I said I was going to do it. I did it yesterday, and I'm obligated to do it today.
Runners at first and second, 2 outs here in the 7th inning. The Yankees are trailing 2-0. Dent is the key man. Stretched by Torres, the set, the kick, and the pitch. Hit deep to left field. This one may be off the wall, maybe in the screen. Home run for Bucky Dent. Home run, and the Yankees lead it 3-2. Just in the net in left field, and the entire bench is out on the playing field. The dugout has emptied, waiting for Bucky Dent, who has put the Yankees out in front, 3-2.
And a dirty little secret to that game is that Reggie Jackson hits a home run later on. It actually provides the winning margin. That put them up 3-2. And Grizz, understand this. For Bucky Dent, that was Bucky Dent's.
I'm sorry. I was watching the Braves. I'm sorry. I was watching the Braves. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
I was watching Braves history.
Well, they're not playing
Braves
tonight.
Country.
Well, the Braves are tonight. We played that on Friday. The Braves are playing tonight, and they got no history like that. But anyway,
yeah.
Do you know that when he hit that was his 5th home run of the year?
What?
That was his 5th home run of the year. That was it. He never hit the most home runs he ever hit in a year, Bucky Dent, was 8. He hit in his entire career, and he played like 10 or 12 years in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Bucky Dent hit, I might be lying, 40 home runs in Major League Baseball.
Let me look that
40 for his career. Look, no hands. I might be making this up. I got no notes. I'm not
I
looking
just
at
want
it.
to see how many he's got.
I'm going to say 40 home runs in his entire career in the Major League Baseball.
It's a baseball reference. 40 home runs
40.
on the dot.
On the dot. He had 5 in 1978.
423 RBIs.
I think he – it's like 2 seasons now. I think he had 8 in 1977. Am I lying? I mean, how do I know – how come I can recite, like, these kind of numbers from the 70s, and I can't tell you how many yards rushing, the Browns had last weekend? You know what I mean? You remember – you're just going to happen to you,
memory
Grizz.
loss like me.
No, this is going to happen to you, Grizz. You're going to get, like – no, that's not short memory loss. That's just you don't pay attention. But if,
no, it's short-term memory loss.
If what's going to happen to you,
Serious
Grizz?
thing. Yeah.
20 years from now, you're going to be able to rattle off stuff that happened in the 2000s and in the 2010s like this. I'm telling you right now, Bucky Dent had 8 home runs in 1977 and 5 home runs in 1978.
Look at the year by year. 77, 8. And what was the year? You said what was the other
78
year?
when he hit that one was
And
his
then
5th.
Oh, no. 78, he had 5. 77, he had 8.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
70,
I'm sorry.
70
Yeah,
had
yeah.
8, and then that was his 5th in
Yeah, it went
78.
backwards, yeah.
And
I was
they
looking at it
counted
backwards.
that game 163 was counted as a regular season game. That's how they do that. If you have to play a playoff game to determine a thing, it's counted as a regular season game. So.
Is it still counted as a regular season game, or is this
if there's this is a wild card game, but if they had tied for the division lead, remember they were saying like if 3 or 4 teams tie, they would have had to play off to get into the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
Those would have been regular season games.
Okay.
So tomorrow we'll do some Dodgers and Cardinals history because that's a great matchup as well. But I mean, we can't ignore something that is, and it's going to have a huge number because there's nothing else to watch, right? I mean, think about it. There is nothing else to watch, sports-wise. Nothing. So, and you can listen to it here as well for on your home for everything that matters. Let me get Dale in here. Dale, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, buddy. What are you doing?
Oh, no, just hanging out.
Well, so you never fished Smith Lake before?
I have never fished Smith Lake before. And I hear that it's brutal this time of year.
Brutal. I'm going to tell you, it's brutal. It's like a love-hate, like a golf match. You may go out there and shoot par. You may go out there and shoot 110. But I'm going to give you some advice. I fished there a ton. You need to use Carolina rigs with the brightest colors you can find, like hot pink,
Carolina
neon
rig.
green.
Nobody said Carolina rig. I've been talking to all my pro buddies, and everybody's saying about the spin, deal, and they're spin bait, and they're talking about drop shotting. And
drop shot. Carolina. I got a buddy who's got a house out there. They got this big tournament every year. They pay like $10,000 to win it. It's something every year they do out there. He's won it twice, and he does a Carolina rig with a 4-inch lime green, neon green lizard, or you can just, like you're talking about, hot pink worms or jerk baits. I mean,
I got jerk baits. I got jerk baits packed.
Jerk baits,
Carolina. I love the Carolina rig. Are you sure about this Carolina rigging? Because I think they're chasing bait offshore right now. I mean, they're chasing balls of.
They're chasing the big bull shads, I think, out there. Whatever they chase out there. But I'm telling you, Carolina rig.
Okay.
I hate Carolina rig fishing because I can never tell when I get a bite. But
I love Carolina rig fishing.
Every time I go fishing with him, he'll catch 10 to my 1 on that Carolina rig. I just don't like it. I like Texas rig or everything else, but it's really clear. So all the rain might have it muddy, but a little bit muddy. But I mean, you're talking about like spots out there like 200-300 foot deep. I mean, it's deep water.
So even if it can throw Carolina rig, even if it's like 30 or 40 feet that we're in.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, he wears them out.
Right.
But you might go out there and not catch a fish. But that's why I'm telling you, it's a crazy. Everybody will tell you it's a crazy place to fish. But like the jerk bait, you can sit there and be jerking it, and you can see the spots come up and get it. But you're gonna fill your boat up with slot fish because I think the slot's 15 inches. You're gonna catch a bunch of 15-inch fish.
Well, no, 15-inch keeps for us. They told us.
That's what I'm saying, but I mean, okay, well, 15, I mean, you're going to catch a bunch of slot fish, what we always call it, but
Yeah.
there's still some largemouth out there, too. I mean, I've caught some 3 and 4 pound largemouth out there, but that's just because we're riding down the river, riding down the lake, and see them schooling, and just whatever you throw in the school, whatever you throw out there, you're going to catch. It don't matter.
I'm going to throw it. I'm looking for schooling fish. I'm going to throw a fluke
It
at
don't matter if they're schooling, just throw a crankbait, and you'll catch whatever's in there. I mean, we've done that all the time. That's what I was calling in, too.
Not a fluke?
I
was going to throw a fluke at them if they're schooling, and
Well, we've never done that. We just do crankbaits, and once you really throw them when they're schooling, you're going to catch. Something's going to hit it. Most of the time, we had in a slot back in the day. It'd be a 14-inch fish, but then all of a sudden you might have a big fish. But
yeah,
we was out there sight fishing. I mean, you can see them. We was out there one day fishing a tournament. We had 2 at least 5-pound spots on bed, and you could. We threw everything with a stick of dynamite at them, and they wouldn't bite.
Yeah. And then bringing dynamite, and I don't think any fish are in beds right now. But yeah.
Yeah, I know. They wouldn't. That's the one time I went out there. But I'm telling you, it's really, really clear, though. It's a big, huge lake. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you, when you fish there, they got all these different names for everything. Go to Rock Creek. Rock Creek is the best place to fish out there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's where his house is, on Rock Creek. But I'm telling you, it's the best place. It's a huge spot, but Rock Creek, you can ask your other buddies, Rock Creek's a hot spot. So,
all right, Dale, thanks for the heads up, man.
I just want to give you the heads up. I'm just telling you, Rock Creek is the place to go.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, buddy.
So, Head of Steel says that after Brady wins a game that starts after 7, Facebook doesn't work anymore the next day. Is that what happened? Was Facebook down yesterday? Were they messed up yesterday?
That was weird. It was a bunch of stuff went down.
He wins games.
I think they had more investigations or something. There was a bunch of stuff going on with Facebook. Right
Notice they didn't play well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They won, but they didn't play well. Now, let me ask you a question. Is Moulton listening right now? Can he hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Check this out. We made that announcement 5 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago, that we'll have both the wild card games. And already the
he knows. We said it yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry.
The text went. Are you talking to me or you talking to him? Learn how to work your microphone.
I was saying we were talking. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought he was getting on.
I don't need to talk to him. I just want to know that he's hearing me. Okay. Already the text window is blowing up. Thank you for putting both wild card games on. Another one. Thank you, Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, Dodgers. Couldn't be better.
And Friday, of course, as well.
Well, Friday's going to be a little tougher. But are we going to have the first game Friday or no?
Yeah.
What is the schedule Friday? I'm going to look
first
at
game.
it real quick. The first game Friday is the White Sox and the Red Sox. That's at 1:07 Central Time, followed by Braves and Brewers, which is at 3:37. Now, we got high school football Friday night. Got a big high school game Friday night. So we'll have to decide whether or not we can do something about that. I don't know if that can be squeezed in or not. And then we got the high school.
Thumbs up, and I'm getting confirms. So
nice.
It seems like we're doing the game.
Well, we might have to do something
Braves.
funky at the end. You know what? That doesn't have to be a 4-hour game. You know what I mean? I mean, they could play that game in 3 hours and 5 minutes. We'd be happy with that. That means it'd be a good pitching duel. I think the Braves would have an advantage in a pitching duel.
51,000 plus on their feet. Nobody's left to beat the traffic tonight, I guarantee you. Mark gets the sign. The wind and the pitch. Here it is. Swung. Fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes! 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 The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship.
Just
saying. Nice.
Just saying.
And here's
so
the thing.
Excited.
That's 95, and it sounds like it's 65.
It does, and it looks like it. It looks like it too. That's the sad thing.
When did we start getting clear digital radio
DVDs,
sound?
Like I don't know, like 2000. Like what is it? 2000.
That sounds analog. You know, when did they? No, because I know when I started in radio, it was 97.
Yeah,
and we had a Comrex. And the Comrex sounded much clearer. That sounds, what you just heard right now, it sounds the same as this. It sounds,
Runners at first and second, too.
See that sound right there? That's analog. That's over a regular phone line. That's an analog system, not a digital system. And that 95 with that Braves cut, right? No, yeah, it's 95 with that Braves cut. Now, in 97, maybe that's when the red box came out. Maybe that's when Comrex came out, late 90s. The first one I remember is there was a blue box, and then there was a red box. But I think that Major League Baseball was still using, most ballparks were still using regular phone lines. And that's why it sounds that way.
Tom, that was an ISDN. I plugged up that box. It was a Zircom ISDN.
In 95?
In 95. Yep.
So why does it sound like, ISDN even sounds
just because
not as
that's
good as digital.
Some guy on YouTube probably recording of a recording.
Nah, I'm telling you. Let me hear the first 10 seconds of it again. Play that for us again. Because you can tell by the way.
1,000 plus on their feet. Nobody's left to beat the traffic tonight.
That's still. Here's what I think was happening a lot, Steve, in the early ISDN days. Because ISDN is just a souped-up phone line. That's still copper. It's not fiber. You know what I mean? An ISDN line is souped-up. It's a dedicated copper line.
It's a fax line.
Yeah, it's a fax line. So, and I used to be in the telecommunications installation business, so I kind of have a little bit of knowledge about it. But it wasn't fiber. So what would happen is you would have an ISDN line at the stadium. It would leave on an ISDN line, but between there and the distribution, it would still go over regular phone lines at times. So you would have that sound. Now, I'll say this: I love that sound. You know what I mean? I love that. And here's the other thing: those lines never dropped out. Never dropped out. The Comrexes early on, you remember the red box and the blue box, they would drop out and they would do that kind of stuff. So tell me your story, Steve. You were working on the Braves radio network at that time. You were doing a little engineering for them. How old were you then?
That was my first year out of college. My first job out of college was with the Braves, Hawks, and Bulldogs. I was just one of 3 rotating producers and happened to land with the Braves during that run.
So you were in the booth then, or were you? You say you plugged it up, or were you?
I was right behind Joe Simpson.
Room? That's nice. That's a good memory right there. That's a real good memory right there. Playing the Brewers is going to be cool, man. All right, so So right now you're saying that 3:37 first pitch we got it Friday afternoon.
Correct.
Nice.
Yes. Pregame will start 15 minutes before first pitch, so in the neighborhood of 3:00 ish.
Okay. All right, so we're not carrying a White Sox-Astros game. We don't need that game.
Negative.
So, okay, so Brewers, and then that'll run right into high school football.
So my tentative plan is to carry as much as we can, hugging up to 7 o'clock with Huntsville traveling to Austin. If we need it, we will flip it over to our alternate stream on Zone 2 if we need it.
If we need it, yeah. Okay, good. I love it. And the guys will keep them posted as well on the air, if the game's in the lurch. By then, the Braves will be up. They'll be up 7-1. So it'll be just, they'll just be fish. It's Charlie Moulton, for God's sakes. Charlie Moulton, the horse. Let's get a break. When we come back to the college football talk with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. He's next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean?
It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Kerry Rosenblum here with Rosenblum Realty, and we appreciate our MA family. Football season is back again, and we're here for your real estate needs. We've been also doing rental properties for many years. You may have a home that you need to lease out. You don't need the headaches. You need somebody to take care of it, make sure the repairs are done, keep the rent coming in, and screen the tenants. We can do all that for you at Rosenblum Realty, where we do property management services, or you can find a good home to rent as well. Call us at 256-539-9501. Put our years of experience to work for you.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortAndSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky for your Tuesday afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to stay in the forecast for a good majority of the afternoon, even as we head into the evening. That's really going to prevent temperatures from warming up today. Highs only climbing into the low and mid-70s, dropping into the mid-upper 60s through the overnight. We're essentially going to repeat this process through Wednesday. Mostly cloudy to overcast skies, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures, though, are going to be a little higher, given the fact that some of us might see a couple of peaks of sunshine. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Did you know that at Woody Anderson Ford, they service all vehicles, not just Fords, in their service department, and their people are really, really expert. I mean, they do a tremendous job for you. They're going to get it done right. They're going to get it done on time, quickly for you as well. They're going to diagnose exactly what is wrong and get it done for you. Check out Woody Anderson Ford. Woody Anderson of Madison, the service department in particular, is absolutely tremendous. So you'll like that when you get on down there. The service lanes are great. And the people are they're nice. You know what I mean? They're really nice. All right, joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, a guy that does a tremendous job for Saturday Down South, Connor O'Gara. Connor, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I thought we were going to get a little bit more of an intriguing Saturday with some of these matchups with Bama and Georgia, but I'm a little bit nervous right now that we're already reaching the midway point of the season. That doesn't feel right.
It's really bothering me that this is the midway point of the season. I want everything to stop here now for a minute. In fact, I've been advocating for a scenario where we get a game every other week. I want 24 weeks, 12 games, 24 weeks. I want to talk about the last game for a week, and then I want to talk about the next game for a week and stretch this thing out. I cannot believe we're halfway through the season already. This is nuts.
No, I wouldn't necessarily be in favor of that because I want to be able to watch football every Saturday, of course. But at the same time, I mean, there's something to be said for having half the year with a college football season. That's not the worst idea I've ever heard. But
okay, how about half the teams play every other week? So this way, everybody takes 24 weeks to play their schedule, but we can bounce around. We can, like, everybody has a bye every other week, so this way we can still watch some Big Ten games. We can watch some of this and that, you know. So like the SEC East is playing one week, and then next week it is the SEC West. So we got games every Saturday, but we stretch this thing out a little bit.
I got you. It's like when you were back in high school and you do block scheduling, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, think about it. We talk about this for like 38 weeks a year, and then it happens in a blink of an eye. You know, it just, boom, it goes by. And then we'll just talk about it again for another 38 weeks. Don't you think to a certain extent, though, that is part of the science of the passion of college football is that unlike every other season in all pro sports and everything else, which are basically 6-month seasons, NASCAR's 9 months, but that it's 3 months basically. And you have this wanting. There's no preseason. There's nothing. You have this wanting, and then for 12 or 13 or 14 weeks, and then bowl season, and it's over. You know, I think it's part of the madness is part of the genius.
I kind of like how crazy things can change, though. I mean, look at a team like A&M. So A&M was a top 7 team. 11 days ago? 11 days ago, and in an 8-day stretch, they went from being a top 7 team to being what is no doubt the worst team in the SEC West. They're staring at an 0-3 start because they're not going to beat Alabama this weekend. And things have spiraled quickly for Jimbo Fisher. Things have changed that quickly. If we do the block scheduling, that's all well and good from the entertainment standpoint, but we don't get those roller coaster type years, and we don't have that in any other sport. Even in college basketball, you can have a bad week and maybe you lose 2-3 in a row, but you still got the tournament to hold out hope for. A&M went from thinking, oh, hey, we can compete in the West. Maybe we're going to go to a New Year's Six Bowl again. To all of a sudden, it's like, oh man, let's pray we get to 7 wins this year.
Not only is A&M right now the cellar dweller in the West, they're battling with LSU to be 6-7. I mean, that's the part that is even more startling is that, any time in the last 15 years, if you said, well, A&M and LSU will battle it out for the basement in the SEC West. I mean, that's fact. And if LSU doesn't win at Kentucky, if I'm Ed Orgeron, I hate to say it, but it's time to polish up the old resume.
There's a very realistic chance of that. And if you're looking at LSU the rest of the way, that's the tough thing is that it's not like, Florida, if I'm a Florida fan, I'm holding out hope that the schedule gets easier, and it does. Florida might actually be favored in every remaining non-Georgia game that it has on that schedule, and that includes going to Death Valley. And then on the other hand, for LSU, in the next 5 opponents, those teams are combined 20-4. I mean, there is no room for error in the schedule for LSU, an LSU team who is so flawed, the worst running game we've seen from LSU in the 21st century, no doubt about it. And they have so many issues right now that you just kind of feel like, man, if they have Max Johnson go down, because he's taking some hits with that offensive line with how poor it's playing, if he goes down, I think that this is a team that you're like, oh, man, is this 2017 Florida all over again with Jim McElwain? Or are they going to be like a 4-win team if that happens? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But, yeah, things are bad right now at LSU, and I wouldn't necessarily bank on them getting a whole lot better this weekend in Lexington.
And then the flip side of that is Kentucky's a 3.5-point favorite in that game. They'll get whacked on CBS and at Between the Hedges next week. But tell me what game they're not favored in the rest of the way. At Mississippi State, Tennessee at home, and I appreciate Tennessee's 69 points or 63 points or whatever they did in Missouri. At Vandy, that's a joke. New Mexico State and Louisville. Kentucky's looking at 11-1. I mean, can you imagine Kentucky at 11-1?
I don't think they'll get there. And look, I like Kentucky. I'm going to be in Lexington this weekend, ironically enough, and I've sung the praises of Mark Stoops because I think the job that he did is to get the program to this point, which feels even a little bit different than 2018. It is remarkable, and he deserves so much credit for that. It's a flawed football team. They got to 4-0 despite the fact they were -9 in turnover margin. They were putting the football on the ground. They had to grind one out and hold on for dear life against FCS Chattanooga. Yeah. They went into that game last weekend against Florida with that aforementioned turnover disadvantage, and then they got nearly doubled up in total yards, and they won that game because of a blocked field goal that they returned for a touchdown. So I think even Kentucky fans would say, look, it's great that we're in this position, and we're not going to complain about it. We're not necessarily going to sit here and tell you that we should be feel bad about some of these wins. I mean, Kentucky is a win away from its best start since the Bear Bryant era in 1950. All right, Like that's what we're talking about right now. But at the same time, if you ask a Kentucky fan, and my brother was at the game this past weekend, you could see the flaws. I mean, they were held on under 100 passing yards over the weekend against Florida, but at the same time, you have New Year's Six Bowl upside now. And even that 2018 Kentucky team didn't get to that level. They were robbed. They didn't get to go to a New Year's Six Bowl, even though they had the advantage against Florida in the head-to-head that year. But I think that's what they're playing for. And I think that's more of the realistic expectation. Can you have that 9-3, 10-2 regular season?
What do you mean Ryan was at the game? Shouldn't he have been at the Michigan-Wisconsin game or something like that? What the hell's he doing at that game in Kentucky? I mean, yeah, I know he lives there. They got a salty one up. They got one game in the 10 this week. One game. And I'm fascinated by it. Penn State at Iowa. This ought to be a good old-fashioned Big Ten slobber knocker. And there's Cincinnati with their popcorn schedule the rest of the way, just sitting there at 5. By the time we get to Saturday night, Cincinnati is going to be in the top 4. Now, these polls mean nothing compared to the big poll, the college football playoff poll. And I got a notion that Cincinnati might be viewed a little bit different because when you look at their schedule, I still say Cincinnati playing in the 10, Cincinnati playing in the SEC, 6-2, 5-3.
No.
Yes, week after week after week after week. You go from Arkansas to Ole Miss to Alabama to LSU. I mean, come on, they're going to drop some games.
Did you watch what they did at Notre Dame? A Notre Dame team that just smoked Wisconsin, and then they went into South Bend and they imposed their will in that game. That defense took over. That was a different type of group, and they have so much experience on both sides of the ball. Sauce Gardner is the best cornerback in college football. Myjai Sanders is going to be a first-round pick. Desmond Ridder is rising up the draft boards. They have talent. We saw that talent against Georgia last year. Georgia needed a miracle to come back and win. Look,
9-3 in the SEC talent. They're a good team, but you see what I'm saying? Though, it's the cumulative effect. When you have to get up for 1 or 2 big games a year, when you look at the rest of their schedule, how many teams in the SEC or in the Big Ten East would be undefeated at this point if they were playing that schedule? And I don't know that Notre Dame is that good right now. They got a quarterback issue.
I'm not discounting that, but at the same time, you can play against LSU and do what Auburn did and drop 9 into coverage. All right, let's not act like there are a bunch of world beaters here. A&M's offensive line, you can play 60 minutes of football against them and be just fine. It's way different than last year. Mizzou's run defense, which just allowed everybody and their mother to score a touchdown this past weekend against Tennessee, you can handle 60 minutes against them. This belief that Cincinnati wouldn't hold up physically, I don't buy it. I'm not sitting here saying that they would run the table, that they're going to beat Georgia or Alabama. They wouldn't. But right now, if you were putting Cincinnati in the SEC, they're the third best team. They absolutely are. They would be better than Kentucky on a neutral site. They would beat A&M. They beat LSU. They beat Auburn. They're a team that is absolutely legit. I had them predicted to go to the playoff back in May. And I said they're going to beat Indiana. They're going to go on the road. They're going to win that game. Bye week, then they're going to beat Notre Dame.
But Indiana turns out to not be who we thought they were. In the East,
they're undefeated though. They're a top 10 team.
In the East, do they beat Florida? They don't beat Georgia. Do they beat Florida? So they're third in the East. Yeah, come on. You think they go to Gainesville and beat Florida?
Neutral site. How about we're talking neutral site here? Let's keep it all things equal. All things equal, because even
could go either way.
A tough time.
It could go either way. And then the next week, they got Arkansas on a crossover game. And then the next week, they play Georgia. And then the next week, they have to – somebody trips them up, like Mississippi State or whatever, Ole Miss. You just don't know. A team like Ole Miss, as bad as they looked against Alabama, I don't know. It's hard to evaluate. Or Penn State, Michigan State. I mean, Ohio State. That Big Ten East, Notre Dame loses to all of those teams. I think Notre Dame will lose to all of those teams I just mentioned in the Big Ten East. They don't beat Ohio State. They probably don't beat Penn State. Now with that quarterback situation, how the hell? I know we're not talking about the SEC. How does Notre Dame end up with a quarterback problem? How do they end up with the castaway from Wisconsin, and that's their answer at quarterback, and then a couple of leprechauns, to be their quarterback? I don't understand how Brian Kelly ends up with that kind of situation at quarterback.
It's been difficult to find that game-changing quarterback. And Ian Book was, to his credit, was a really good college quarterback. But at this point, I agree. Look, Jack Cohn, a lot of people are high on coming into the year, and we all kind of like this change of scenery thing with the quarterback position. And we tend to think, if they could just get the opportunity, they're going to be great. They're all going to be well and good. And we think that everybody's going to turn into a superstar, and the reality is the Joe Burrows, the Cam Newtons, the Baker Mayfields of the world, the guys who transfer and have success at new schools, they are few and far between. I mean, they really are. Jack Cohn had his limitations at Wisconsin. Now, going out and beating Wisconsin the way that he did, tip of the cap to him for doing that and showing that Paul Chryst made the wrong decision. We should probably be having more conversations about Paul Chryst and how he's not an elite offensive mind, and that he gets way too much credit for Wisconsin's success. But that's a different subject for a different time. Yeah, Notre Dame just can't find a quarterback at this point. They need that five-star guy if they're ever going to get past this ceiling that we have seen for the last 3-4 years, which is a good ceiling that a lot of programs wish they had. But at the same time, we've seen the ceiling of what it looks like.
Yeah, I had a Wisconsin fan call the show right after the Notre Dame game, and he said, we picked the wrong guy. We kept the wrong guy. I don't know how much better that they would be at that point. And now it turns out maybe Wisconsin's not that great this year. Maybe this is the year they're not that great, and who knows what happens there. Connor O'Gara with us from Saturday Down South. What do we make of Auburn? I mean, Auburn, one week they're struggling to beat Georgia State, and the next week they go to LSU. It's still going to LSU. I know the miracle touchdown, that play by Bo Nix, will go down in SEC lore. That was an unbelievable play. But you can't win those kind of with those kind of plays week in and week out. What do we make of this Auburn team?
I'll say this about Auburn, because I had them with a 5-7 projection coming into this year, and I picked them to finish dead last in the SEC West. They're definitely better than what I thought they were going to be, and I did not think Bo Nix had that in him. What we saw on Saturday night was a special type of performance. And I don't say this lightly, but that was Johnny Manziel-esque. Some of the things that he was doing with the escapability, the final numbers aren't going to tell you that was Bo Nix's best game ever. Anybody with two eyes and a pulse could have told you that was Bo Nix's best football game that he's ever played in an Auburn uniform. So what does that mean moving forward? Does that mean he's going to be able to do that week in, week out? No, it doesn't. But at the same time, I like this Auburn offense a little bit more than I did a couple weeks ago, because I think we've seen Hunter really step up and be that complimentary guy to Tank Bigsby, to where now if Tank Bigsby gets kind of nicked up, you look at the efficiency that Hunter has had. I mean, kid has just been a revelation there. 3-star recruit, summer enrollee. He can squat 660 pounds casually. He's a really impressive sprinter as well. I don't know how that kid was a 3-star recruit, but you feel better about Auburn's chances because of that as well. And defensively, I think they're going to continue to get better. They've had some issues in the defensive line, and they've had issues keeping their linebackers healthy. They need Owen Papo back healthy, but I like the secondary a lot. I think this Auburn team is all right. It's better than I was giving credit for. Could they be an 8-4 team? Yeah, I don't think that's ridiculous to think, especially with how wide open the West looks right now after Alabama.
The road to 8-4 comes with probably splitting the next 4, and it's a meat grinder. I mean, they got Georgia, obviously. That's going to be very, very difficult. That would be a monumental upset to beat Georgia. I don't know that they can go to Arkansas and win. I don't know that they can beat Ole Miss in their own building, and Texas A&M has got to be something by the time you get to November 6th. They could, if they could split those 4, then they beat Mississippi State at home, they beat South Carolina on the road, and then there's the Alabama game. So, that seems to be the path. They got to figure out a way to get to 6 before the Mississippi State game. They could lose the next 4. They could go 1-3. They could go 3-1.
The West is just so fluid this year too, and that's what makes it so difficult to kind of project some of these teams. I'm doing this exercise right now where I'm trying to figure out what every single SEC team has for their upside now that we've seen 5 games for every SEC team besides Ole Miss. And one of the things that I tried to factor in with Auburn was, all right, who do I say definitively they couldn't beat? I don't think they could beat Georgia. I don't think they could beat Alabama. But other than that, yeah, you break it down and you just kind of look at it and say, well, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they beat Ole Miss or that they beat Arkansas. And I like both of those two teams. I think that Arkansas and Ole Miss both have New Year's Six Bowl upside at this point. But at the same time, what if Bo Nix is having a moment right now? What if he did figure things out? We're going to find out this weekend if that's sustainable, because Georgia's the ultimate test against that defense. But I'll tell you what, he wildly surpassed my expectations this past weekend, and if that's what Auburn has moving forward, they're dangerous.
And finally, in the coaches poll, Georgia picked up just 1 vote to be at number 1. Alabama with 63, 2 for Georgia. They picked up 5 in the AP. The poll I like the best is the Football Writers poll. The FWA Super 16, I think, is the best of all of them. I'm sure you're a member. I'm a member, but there was a big move there. I mean, it was about I think they picked up about 6 or 7 votes there. It's now 39 for Alabama, 13 for Georgia. I'm surprised, though, in all 3 of those cases that it isn't much closer, because it feels like it should be 60-40, 55-45, something like that. I'm surprised that the gap isn't closing faster, to quote Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that if I were, I wrote about this as well for SaturdayDownSouth.com, but one of the things that I wanted to break down was what does it look like side by side, and who would I pick to win a game played at a neutral site tomorrow? And as long as JT Daniels is healthy, I picked Georgia to win that football game against Alabama. Now, why is Alabama getting love at number 1 and not Georgia? Well, Georgia hasn't done it on the road yet. That Clemson win has not aged particularly well. And Florida, yeah, they lost the second game to Kentucky, but at the same time, Alabama has at least gone on the road in a hostile atmosphere and won. Now, Georgia's going to face that this weekend, and they're going to see a hostile atmosphere on the Plains, but I think that that's probably the divider of why people aren't necessarily putting Georgia ahead of Alabama all of a sudden, because Alabama has done everything you could have asked of them so far, with the exception of having some run game woes in that Florida game, but they took care of that against Ole Miss. So I think that's kind of where it stands, but I love what Georgia's doing right now, and I would not want to have to spend 60 minutes playing against that team with that defense.
Yeah, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I was leaning towards Georgia and saying, well, because I really felt that Ole Miss would hang and put points on Alabama. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when it was 35-0 Alabama, I was like, well, I guess they held serve. They did their part too, against the team and we'll find out. This Ole Miss Arkansas game is fascinating to me this week, because this is kind of create a little bit of a separation there. We're going to just see whether or not Ole Miss can be that second best team in the SEC West still.
Yeah, and think about that. Matt Corral threw 6 interceptions in this game last year, and Grant Morgan became the one-arm bandit. And it was, as much as we talked about last year how big that Mississippi State win was, getting Arkansas getting its first SEC win in over 1,000 days, that Ole Miss win was like a real flex for Sam Pittman. And to do what they did to Matt Corral, I think Matt Corral is a much better quarterback. He's talked extensively about how much better he is against drop 8 coverage. And he hasn't turned the football over. Everybody's kind of discounting his Heisman chances after the Alabama game because Bryce Young outplayed him. But it wasn't like Matt Corral self-combusted at all. And I thought he actually did some things really well and really impressive and showed that growth. So can he show that growth? Can Arkansas bounce back after getting humiliated like that against a Georgia team that was vastly superior? That's the big question moving forward. I would think that Ole Miss would have a slight advantage in this one. But I agree with you. It's a great indicator of kind of who deserves to be that number 2 team in the SEC West.
Yeah, being at Ole Miss helps that situation as well. Connor O'Gara has been our guest. Connor, you're outstanding. You do a fantastic job, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes with us.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
All right, let's get a break. We will come back and wrap her up right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Ann Adams. Ann, I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th Annual Harris Poll Equitrin as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. Great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes, we need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
At Bryant Bank, we recognize your time is valuable, and easy, secure access to your finances is essential. That's why we provide the financial tools you need to manage your money on the go and make life a bit easier. At Bryant Bank, we're here to help with instant debit cards, Apple Pay, person-to-person payments, and more. Bryant bankers want to show you how beneficial our digital banking services can be. Learn more at bryantbank.com. Bryant Bank. Live legendary. Member FDIC.
Brooks & Collier has always been about making the most of your outdoors. Our lush greenhouse and new furniture ideas will inspire you, but we're also about value. Our brands are so handsome, they'll make themselves comfortable inside or out, and so well made, they'll weather the weather for many years to come. Our staff can consult you on the right choices, and Lucy for sure can show us the sofa that's the most comfortable. Make the most of your outdoors. Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Protecting your family is a priority. Smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are two of the best life-saving investments for the safety of your home and your family. But they do actually expire. The expert electricians at Mr. Sparky will test and advise or install the best unit for your home. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit longer.
Grizz, I got to tell you, this segment brought to you by TOC Sports. Your only answer when you need an orthopedic is TOC, and when your doc recommends you go see an orthopedic, you tell them, I want to see the docs at TOC. You can call them out by name, or you could just say, just send me to TOC, and they will take care of you. This, you know, football is number one for me. You know that. Of
course.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been football. Yeah,
No.
I'm a football guy. I'm a college football first. A sliver college football ahead of the NFL. I mean, if you told me one or the other, I got to keep college football. It's a true story. If you told me that one or the other had to stop, I would take college football in a 17-game season like in the NFL. I want a 17-game college football season. So I would take college football over the NFL. However, I love hockey, and I've been watching some preseason hockey, actually. But I love baseball second. Second is baseball.
Yeah.
Third is hockey. As much as I played college hockey, and so there's the hockey. This game at Fenway Park is a brown paper bag game for me. This is I'm hyperventilating about this game. This is, you know that thing you're supposed to do when you're hyperventilating, how you breathe into a bag?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm literally, luckily, I've got a bunch of interviews to do today. I'm recording Bassmaster Radio for this weekend, this afternoon. So I got a bunch of interviews to do today for that. I've got some other work that I need to do for both the station and for Bassmaster.
Fraba.
And I'm just going to try and stay as busy as possible. I can't stand the fact that this game doesn't start till 7 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
The only good thing about that is that we'll have it on our air tonight after the drive with Wes and Steve. So that's the good thing about that. And they'll be at the Furniture Factory tonight on the stage out back there eating incredible food that they got down there at the Furniture Factory. Chuck Oliver is next. That's followed by Paul Feinbaum. I'm Thom Abraham for Chad. Chad, pull for the Yankees tonight. Come on. Don't pull for the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
We need all of
I don't like the Red Sox at all.
All right, man. Appreciate you, brother. That's it. This is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here.